Thank you for joining me. This is Nancy Caroline with Nancy Caroline Bridal Styling updo videos, and this is an updo for a half up style with a braid. Very common style. Everyone loves braids right now. Great to know any updo that involves a braid. It's a good go-to. So, like the last half updo, we tease the crown. We're going to put a pin right in here, keeping everything just organic and soft. So I'll do 2 pins in there to make sure this holds well. This is your base, so you want it to be able to support any pins that you put in the hair. After I put that in, I use my tail to pick the hair up however I want it. Alright, so now we've already determined her part from before we started curling. So some people will like to leave a little bit of hair out in the front from the braid, and then you can pull that back after you do the braid. Everyone's different. Sometimes you want to pull some of this back and do the braid here. So I'm going to do one side, one of those ideas, and the other side, the other. So on this side, I am going to first pin this back and then use this section as my braid. And just how you saw that, I just do a little twist, pull that back, and I'm going to tunnel pin that in here. Even just this look is beautiful. When you're doing a braid updo, make sure you are braiding in the direction that you want that hair to go. So, and sorry, I'm gonna cross over the camera. If people want a fatter braid, which is very in right now, you want to do a Dutch braid, otherwise known as an inside out braid. This isn't going to have, you know, much French braiding to it, but I'll do a little bit. And so see, as I'm braiding, I'm making sure I'm following the direction that I'm going to end up pulling that hair. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a pucker in the front, and it is not cute. Then you have to redo the braid, which we don't have time for. We could rubber band this, but I'm not this time. And if we wanted to fatten it out, or otherwise pancake it, just simply loosen up the hair. And what I do at the end, if it gets like any flyaways, which it's going to, and it's supposed to, but I'll go over with my curling iron, just touching the hair and, you know, molding it. And then simply crossing over, and I'm going to pin right in there. So that side is done. Okay, now working on this side, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to braid the whole side and bring it straight back. So we're also going to do a Dutch braid with this, again the inside out braid, and we'll pancake it as well. The Dutch braid is hard to get used to if you're used to French braiding, and it was really difficult for me to get used to. But once you do it many times and really think about it, just take it slow, so you're constantly thinking about the fact that you want to go inside out. So now see, as I'm getting into this area, I'm starting to pull it directly back. If anything ends up puckering, we'll just end up putting a bobby pin, but really try to prevent that as much as possible, because it will only make things more difficult. So at this point now, we just braid straight back. And before we pin it in is when we pancake it. So you can put a little mini rubber band in before you pancake. I'm just gonna do it without, just for time's sake. You can even put a little clip on the ends. So come in here, start to loosen it up a little bit. It's great doing this on thicker hair, it just is much easier. But finer hair, you have to do this because the braid just disappears. And you can't really get the same effect doing a French braid, which is why it's really important to know how to do a Dutch braid, since these fat braids are in. Thanks to Elsa and Game of Thrones, we need to know how to do fat Dutch braids and fishtails. And then cross it over and pin underneath, just like we did with the others, with every other half updo. And making sure everything is in tight. There, and then that's that section. And if you wanted to do both of these styles on one head, I'm sure you could. There you go. Thank you.